beats are the purest. Love it, love it. These beats are the purest. Love it, love it.
Welcome in, everybody. It is time. The last game of the regular season is here, and we have quite possibly the most hyped matchup of the season. We have the Cats and Hats taking on the Skrungle Strays. I am Nave. Join me with in the cast is War, Cat, and Booney on the prod. War, how hyped are you for this match?
I mean, I gotta say, there's not very often like matches that you're expecting to happen for like multiple weeks on end. I think this match has been talked about for like 5 or 6 weeks. The people were saying like, "Oh, this is going to be the final match. There is going to be a Cat Super Bowl, and it's here and now." And I am so hyped for it. Cat, what are your thoughts on this?
Uh, yeah, I'm also hyped because a cat team has to win tonight. So, one cat team is going home undefeated, and we shall see who that cat team is.
Yeah, of course, as we move into map 1, the Cats and Hats chose Atlas as their map pick. In response, the Strays banned Diva, and the Cats and Hats banned Sojourn, probably targeting out Sky with that pick. What do you think about the bans here?
I like both bans. I think both are very targeted against the other teams. I feel like the bans slightly favor the Cats and Hats, but that's just my analysis. Honestly, I want to do predictions before we get too deep into the match because I think this will be a close one. I actually have this going 3-2 to the Strungle Stray, and they get their first win. But Cat, what are your thoughts? If you have
Sorry, can you
predictions,
repeat that?
do you have a prediction for the
Oh,
match?
yeah. Let's see. Do the straight? Who has a ringer? Do both have
Both
Both
teams
ringers?
have
teams.
ringers, actually. So
Oh,
the Cats and Hats have Sonic Ronic ringing for Dr. Jargo, as well as Loaf ringing for Warblerhawk, and the Scrungle Strays have Slade ringing for Leonardo.
oh, wow. I don't think you can bet against Sonic, even though cats have two ringers. So I'm gonna go with the cats. 3-1.
3-1. I think it's actually going to be a little bit more down than that. I'm actually predicting a 3-0 for the Cats and Hats. Um, I think they've just been the better team all season. They already have a win on the season as well, whereas these Skrungle Strays have yet to even win a map, actually.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
I
as we
forgot the
do get,
cats are
yeah,
or they have a win, so
yep. And as we do get into the it's actually really sad for the narrative that they have a win. But they did get their win against Ringers, so some people have some
Yeah, it's
critiques on
quite
that win.
possibly
I think
the
this is going to
fakest
be
winning
the
streak of all time.
yeah, this is the match that both teams really want and desire here, the Cat Super Bowl, as they say. And it kind of gives me a as we restart the match again, it kind of gives me like some like reminiscence back to when we had like those like bowl games that were more common, like the 9th seed would play the 10th seed and the 11th seed would play the 12th seed, except this time it's just built into the schedule. It's here and now, and I think this is a great way to end off the regular season. And we might still get bowl games, we might still get more games like that, but I think this is the one that everybody has their eyes on.
Yeah, not technically a bowl game because it is part of the regular season, but who knows? Maybe if this one goes well, they might choose to play another bowl game, but save that for later. As I think we finally are ready to get in to map 1. Uh, as Atlas is loaded up with the proper code, Vendetta finally enabled. It's seeming like we're gonna have a RAM mirror here.
And I feel like this Ren mirror so far is just going to favor the Cats and the Hats a little bit. They have a little bit more of that utility to blow up its Spicy on the Ramatra with Para on that Bastion. And that Bastion is going to be able to do a lot of damage. I would not be surprised to see Sky making the swap over to a little bit more of a damage dealing hit scan to try and match that one out. But Slade on the Juno is something I secretly want to look out for because that can also input a lot of damage. And if the speed rings are well timed, I think this team can set up very well.
Yeah, here we are. First point, Atlas. Both teams kind of jockeying for position first hit, but it's actually Nathan getting the first pick onto Verity, so good start here for the Strays. Already up 1. Wall comes through as well out of Razmataz, but no further kills coming in right now. Spicy a little bit low, but is going to be able to survive, and Sky picks up a second kill, as it looks like the first fight is going to go in favor of the Strays.
That's one of the things that I like that the Strays are doing. They're like splitting these angles and they're making it so this Brawl comp can't really catch any kills. Great wall from Raz to really isolate Para there, and Verity just has to get out with their life. I mean, Verity on the Mei, I think, is a character that he might not be as comfortable on, but it is really helping in the Brawl mirror. Razmataz, though, clearly winning out this Mei duel, 80% to ultimate right now.
Yeah, Mei is so crucial in this Ram Brawl mirror. Both tanks have to be careful not to get split by that ice wall, as Spicy, really taking a lot of damage, forced into his Ramatra form early, is going to try to still play a little bit aggressive with it though. Wall onto Sonic Ronic, it has to be very careful, but Para on this Bastion, forcing the Strays back. Blizzard now coming out from Razmataz is going to pick up Greg, but will be traded in the process. So still 4 for each people here. Sky going with this High Noon down in main as Para gets picked off by Spicy on the side. Sky still walking forward, not able to find a kill with the High Noon. But Greg back in the fight now means it's still 4v4.
Razmataz Blizzard that she threw in the room there actually froze Para out of the ultimate. I love the way that the side of the Skrungle are practically using these ultimates. It turns out the Kitsune rushes are going to be matched. Spicy is going to be the first one to pick up a kill, and this point itself might be done and dusted, going in favor of the Skrungle Stray.
Yeah, Greg still trying to get touches here for the Cats in Hats, but is fighting Sky on the point, trying to pick up that kill on the Lucio. He is going to be able to do so. Sonic Ronic still thinks the fight's winnable, going in with that Annihilation, as Para in this Bastion form putting out a lot of damage, but now Slade coming in with their own Orbital Ray on point. Should be enough here, and the Strays with a dominant 100-0 first flashpoint.
And that was really not bad at all trading, because you can see Sky already almost back up to that High Noon as well. So really pretty even on both sides, maybe a 1 ult advantage. That beat definitely going to prove crucial in this upcoming fight that Greg has been holding on to. And some big DPS ults almost coming back online for the side of the Cats and the Hats. But it's going to be the Skrungle Stray that gain this first point control. We'll see how they look to use the walls and isolate this space.
High Noon early here for Sky. Just making sure the Cats and Hats can't really take any space. They will just wait it out. Looking to engage after. Wonder if it's gonna be Greg going in with this beat potentially first. It is beat engage now for the Cats and Hats. They wall off Spicy. They want to pick up and kill the Ramacha early, and it will just fall. Nathan not able to get the Suzu there in time. Sky is gonna fall as well onto point, and it's a good beat engage given first cat for the Cats and Hats.
That's one of the things I love about having like a Greg on the Lucio. He's just so good at calling those like quick engages, and that their comp is cyclic for the side of the Cats and the Hats. They need to like push and pull off of the Bastion form, off of the Mei wall, off of the Ramatra form. There's a lot of things in this composition that will cycle. Well, Sky can just output more damage throughout. So kind of want to see them go for more of those plays with that Bastion form, just opening up a fight, maybe with an ultimate, maybe not, but just no matter what, just fighting together.
Yeah, the speed's so important when you have that huge ability that is Bastion form, and already getting the first pick onto Sky. So massive advantage now for the Cats and Hats. Para still walking forward in this form is going to run out, but the Skrungle Strays are just going to respect it, wait for their Cassidy to come back from spawn. So it's a quick fight there for the Cats and Hats, and they still have ults to defend.
Slow comes in from Spicy. They're looking to take this down the main angle, but it's a really nice wall from Verity. It helps with that, and both DPS ults are going to be popped online. Spicy trying to stay alive with this Annihilation onto the point, but so many targets are just looking at them. Actually, Razmataz and Spicy and Nathan all pick up kills there, and they might be able to flip this one around with just that one ultimate.
Yeah, it looked like a good blizzard from Verity, but unfortunately the speed ring coming out from Slade meant that nobody actually got frozen by it. So, good ultimate economy there, swing for the Skrungle Strays, able to win that fight and still have the blizzard in the back pocket. It is going to be the Sombra swap here.
Yeah, that's a character that's a lot better for Verity's just overall comfort. I know it might not seem better compositionally, but I do really like this swap for Verity, being able to play a character that's a little bit more comfortable, and he can just be a nuisance for Raz, for Sky, and really just force out. And you can also sort of push off the hack engages, so I think this is a decent swap here. You can see how Sky just forced back immediately, has to pop that high noon. It's going to be comboed, but it's not going to work out.
The freeze in the backline, Para frozen up by Razmataz. They will trade it out in the end. Slade is really low, has to be careful. Suzu to keep the Juno alive. Sonic Rana keeps trying to chase with this Annihilation, is going to get walled off, but Slade will fall down in the end. And with Nathan going down as well, no heals now available for the Skrungle Strays. They will all fall. Cats and Hats going to take the second flashpoint.
That's one of the fights where I think Verity, like with the Sombra script, kind of a difference maker. Had two hacks that were just super impactful and really helped burn down, isolate those kills. Maybe a little bit more than they could on the Mei. I think this swap, I don't know if it necessarily needs a counter, but you definitely need an answer for the style that like Verity likes to play at with this Sombra, one of the characters he's most proficient with.
Yeah. As we move over to flashpoint 3 here, Nathan coming up on this Kitsune rush. Gonna be the key ultimate here for the Skrungle Strays. The Cats want to go faster though. They see Sky cut out alone. They get the first pick on the Cassidy. Barry is actually traded. Razmataz is in their backline, kills Para as well. The Mei, the sneaky Mei on the off angle. Kitsune rush now from Nathan through the choke. Raz is finally gonna fall, but with this Kitsune rush, the Skrungle Strays looking to walk forward. It is gonna be a disengage here from the Cats and Hats. Nobody is gonna die further. Greg gets caught with the slow, very low health, but is going to be able to survive. First, for a little bit there, does go down at the end. First cap for the Skrungle Strays.
And that cap just off the back of, I think, some staggers late in the map. It seems like Spicy wants to win into this though, and Raz still putting up monumental pick. Raz going absolutely huge for the team, and Sonic Rana can't contest this angle, even with the even against the Annihilation. You can't necessarily do anything. Trying to get Annihilation of his own, trying to at least get some like pressure out onto the point. Verity thinks it's winnable, goes into the EMP, but Raz just unkillable on this point. Now Sonic playing the angle, has the Annihilation online, but doesn't look to pop it, especially against this high noon on the cards. That's going to get popped eventually, and now he looks for the for the Annihilation on towards the point. Hera also stacking up ultimates. That was a very costly fight, but it turns out the Cats and the Hats will win it.
So many ults invested, so many things just happened on my screen. Razmataz with the 2K in the middle of that to almost make it a winnable for the Skrungle Strays. But in the end, it is the Cats and the Hats ready to 40% on this point. Ultimates used for both teams, but double support ult coming online here for the Strays.
Yeah, and I think that's where the previous fights are going to be a little bit costly. I mean, they basically used the DPS and tank ult to win that fight. And now you really have nothing to hold on to this point, so it needs to be a clean fight. One that you don't get picked early on, one that you can maybe extend for a little bit longer and get value with these hacks, but it's going to be a rush down onto Sonic Chronic. A great job of kiting for the Cats in the Hats, though.
They're going to keep going. This beam coming down as well. Para first to fall. Advantage, for the Skrungle stays as they make their way onto point, start that tap. Maywall onto Sonic Chronic, who is falling low, trying to use that right click to stay alive, unable to do so. 63% and counting. If the Cats want to have any chance to get a touch here, they need to live.
It's likely going to have to be Verity for this touch. Still, I mean, you're close to the beat, you're close to the rush, you can maybe get those fights, but you need somebody to find this touch, and the side of the Skrungle Straight, they're playing so far back, they're ready to turn and burn onto Verity as you watch the point, but no, instead they're just burn onto Sonic, and the beat is late.
Beat engage, not able to keep the tank alive. Lope still think is winnable, using that Kitsune rush onto point, but there's no teammates left for the Cats and Hats. The Skrungle Strays, they're going to go up 2-1 on Flashpoint here after a really messy fight there from the supports. Not able to keep their tank alive, not able to keep the rest of their team alive, using those ults just a little bit too late.
And that was a 2-for-2 ult exchange that you just, cannot lose. I mean, the moment those ults are invested and you lose this point, now you're at such a severe disadvantage because the Cats and the Hats, they still aren't winning this ult economy battle. And they may be getting to this point first because of how quickly they died, but I don't think that really matters when Razzmatazz has these blizzards that are just getting a lot of value. In my opinion, just catching out the team and no EMP to answer for Verity. We'll see if he can get that online in time.
Fashion ult from Par to start the fight here for the Cats and Hats. Hack onto Spicy, trying to pick up that Ramatra, but is just going to be able to step back, avoid that artillery barrage, and now looking to re-engage. Slow, trying to keep them a little bit away from now. Cap going to come through for the Cats and Hats. Razzmatazz once again on a flank here, looking maybe for a sneaky Blizzard in the back line. Spicy trying to keep engaged. Razzmatazz is going to toss in the Blizzard. EMP though.
EMP misses.
Yes, with the Blizzard not able to catch anything. Very and Greg falling down first, so a man advantage now for the Stray. Sonic Chronic so low, is going to be able to drop Sky, investing the High Noon just as insurance. Para still alive on this Bastion, but with no help the rest of the team should fall down. It's going to be the retake.
It's a little bit more costly than you'd probably want it to be for the side of the Skrungle Stray, but they do manage to clean up the point. Now they can stack these support ults, similar to the way they did on this previous point, to get another fight, win, proc that last fight. Well, the side of the Cats really have nothing to answer back with. You can see Sonic Chronic looking to probe. They want to approach from this high ground to sort of deny these angles that Sky can take, that Razzmatazz can take and poke down. They can kind of explode out, but a rush to that they're fighting into is going to be a tall mountain to climb.
Beam as well, but it looks like the Cats and Hats trying to disengage it, trying not to get caught. Verity, it's actually Para that goes down first here, so a huge advantage now. Hack onto Spicy, trying to keep the fight going, but the Maywall defensively, and Verity actually goes down. Sky with a massive pick with the help of that silver bullet. Beat from Greg, trying to keep it going. Last fight on the map. Logue investing the Kitsune rush as well, but they're not able to find anything. Greg goes down, Sonic goes down, and the Skrungle Strays on verge of getting their first map win of the season.
A touch from the Tracer. Verity around the coast side, has to recall out. Sky just marking that angle so well and claps back. Ladies and gentlemen, the Skrungle Stray are on the board for this season. And they want to take more. They want to take this series as they do clean up Atlas for their first win.
Some say it would never happen, but the Skrungle Strays, they prove all the haters wrong. They will start up 1-0 in the series on, honestly, a pretty dominant map one.
Yeah, I really like the way they played that map. I think they're cycling, very well. And I mean, the Cats and Hats have really good ideas, especially with the way they're kiting these ultimates. I think they're doing a good job at it, but the Skrungle Strays just feel a little bit more coordinated, a little bit more time together. I think that's one of the advantages, not having two ringers, only having one ringer. But that's just my insight.
Yeah, well, we're not going to say it was anything to do with the Ringers. The Strays, they absolutely deserve that map win, Ringers or not. But the rest of the series still coming up. The Strays are up 1-0. Map 2 coming up after this break.
These beats are the purest. Prove it. These beats are the purest. Prove it. Prove it.
Welcome back, everybody. Map 2 is here. Hollywood, picked by the Cats and Hats, as well as a Sim ban coming up from them. Skrungle Strays going with the Kiri ban in response, as they are up 1-0 in the series, looking to carry that momentum onto Map 2, potentially get a 3-0. I'm Nave, still with War and Booney. War, how do you feel about Map 2?
Yeah, I think this map does lean into what the Cats and the Hats want to do against Skrungle Stray, which is play a little bit more of that dive look. I know that we're going to have Slade on the Echo, but you have Master Jedi coming in, who's somebody who can play that Freya, play that Ashe, play characters that can do a little bit more to sort of counteract. And then Nathan on the tank to match up against Sonic Chronic on the Diva. I think that's going to be a really good matchup to look out for. But the side of the Cats, I think leaning more into sort of a mix between like a poke and a dive look. I'm not really sure how to assess that. Slade, who's ringing in for, I think, Leonardo here or Spicy. I'm not sure which like effectively ringing for, but one of those two is moving over onto the Echo, which I think is a good pick. We'll just have to see what how much value can get into like it's sort of a counter comp to it.
Yeah, we saw that actually the Strays, they banned that Diva on map 1. Certainly afraid of the matchup, and Sonic Chronic ringing as well. We know Diva's one of his premier heroes, something that we've seen him run a lot for the Puffles this season. As we start the attack here, Sky on this Ashe, looking to get a pick here for the Strays. It's actually going to be Para on the Vendetta, so interesting look from them here. Just currently fighting on the high ground. Nathan getting hit with that biotic grenade. Try to keep him a little bit healthy. So far, not too much happening. Mostly just jockeying for position as Slade and Nathan trying to go up to the high ground. Slade is going to get caught by Sonic Chronic in that hallway as Nathan now getting burned by the dynamite. Getting stuck on the tree! Can he get out? Yes, he can. Just barely able to live with his mech, but defense there for the Cats and Hats.
The defense is really nice, and the Cats and Hats comp, like inherently, is like a little bit more greedy, playing with Para on this Vendetta, and then Greg also on the Lari here. But if they can just avoid damage and never get caught, Sonic Chronic will wreak havoc on the lobby, and that is clearly what they're doing right now. You have Sonic hit from one angle, Para hit from the other, but this time Para does get caught out from the main angle. Sky catches the first pick, giving a little bit of advantage to the Skrungle Stray.
Yeah, a little bit of a mistake there from Para as the Nano Boost onto Nathan into the back line, looking to get the Ashe. Master Jedi will fall down. Nathan keep going, picking up Greg. Loaf as well gonna fall. So a huge advantage now for the Strays on point. Sonic Chronic trying to keep it going. He's gonna have this Diva Bomb if they want to keep the fight. They potentially stall out for those supports to get it back. He's gonna get hit. Use that bomb. Charvatron, no shield there for the Brig, gets broken, and they do pick up the kill. Nathan using their own Diva Bomb to try to keep their mech alive, but Sonic's found a second kill onto Slade, and the rest of the respawns are here for the Cats and Hats. Razzmatazz caught out in the middle of the street, gonna fall down. Sky trying to use the bomb, but I think it's a little bit too late. 5 members alive here for the Cats and Hats. They will get this retake, and no tick even conceded.
Sky still opening up this fight with a pick. Good snipe onto Master Jedi, giving a little bit of numbers advantage. But this fight, there's ult online for the side of Cats and Hats here. Greg has that ult, has a care getting eaten by... Oh, and it does get eaten by Nathan! Greg can't find anything, has to jump back in. And Sky's gonna shut down that pylon too. So Sky on the high ground, very stalwart on this position. Para's gonna try to jump up and contest it, but Sky just takes down the burn of the dynamite just a little bit too good. Everybody has to focus on this GM level DPS, but Sonic now a little bit less healing, a little bit less damage, deciding to kite out, just try to save her, maybe a touch for the last second, and a Bobby's gonna come in for Master Jedi, but they get caught in the process. Para's ultimate flashes down too, and that's the support line.
Para with a 2K Sundering Blade from the Sky. And just as quickly as the attack was looking promising for the Strays, Para shuts it down. And still no ticks given. The Cats and Hats now coming in, 40 seconds left. Loaf with this orbital ray on the line, but it's both supports ults online for the Strays. We saw the Nano Boost so deadly onto Nathan before. They'll probably do it again here. There it is, Nathan going right for Master Jedi again. Trying to pick up the kill on the Ashe, they do, but it's an anti-nade on the Sonic Chronic, losing his mech. Trevor trying to stay alive with the help of the rally, but unable to do so. So trades for both sides now. 4v4.
Before towards the point, Nathan looking to catch out Para, but they're just too elusive around this point, and now Kite's back to get the healing, but almost another bomb up online. Sonic Chronic already has him, but the bomb is going to go right onto point. Greg's going to do a nice move to actually clear that out of the way. Nathan gets C-Mech. The bomb is going to be there. And same with the bomb in the backline. Both catch none. And Sonic Chronic and Para also going to fall early here. Greg going to fall as well. The Skrungle Stray taking control of this point. They have the chance to set up, and I don't know if the touch is going to be in play with two people capping at the same time.
Took to overtime, but the Strays finally break through in the end. So, gonna keep this attack going for now. No ult really for either side. Raz, actually 60% to this nano boost. She's been building that rather quickly, coming up to her third already on the map.
I think that's what you have to play for. You have to play for these Raz Nano boosts because, I mean, that's the style of the comp, right? You're playing a little bit less greedy, effectively. You're letting Raz do, like, most of the healing. And then every time you get a Nano, you win the fight. If not, Para and Sonic are going to come in on your break. You're going to have the advantage every time they try to walk on your break. Just blow them up as they try to contest cart. And I think that is the solution to the game.
Oh, low for the 2K. Missiles there. Able to catch out Slade and Charbotron. A lot of damage coming in from Master Jedi on the high ground. And the pickup as well. Razotaz is going to fall to Para. So, that fight not quite going the way that the Strays wanted. As the Cats and Hats are going to get set up here for pretty strong defense now.
And the Cats and Hats to live in that tempo. They live and die by it. Like, if you can go in and just swing and get a pick, or two in Loaf's case, like, that is game-changing. That is fight-changing. But now you finally have that Nano back online. I say finally, but this is our third of the game. Razmataz gonna probably send this one towards Nathan again, and that's exactly what's gonna happen onto the high ground.
Yeah, trades. Greg falling down. Not able to use that beat to save the team. But it's actually trades for both sides. 3v3 now. As the fight goes away from the point, Nathan getting this high ground position, going after Master Jedi, who is able to get this defense picture from Sonic Chronic to stay alive. The dynamite coming through, but with the pocket from Loaf, she'll be able to keep the Ash alive. Payload is starting to move now. As 40 seconds left.
Very careful on this high ground position. Sonic Chronic definitely scouting this one out, and this guy just finally getting that regen in. Luckily, Sonic Chronic is going to jump down. Para and Greg comboed the ultimates, but I think that ult from Para just hitting the edge of a rooftop there. Still going to get a kill. A Bob onto the high ground from Sky, though. That's a really nice position. It's going to force out bombs on either side, actually, but it's Sky who's finding the kills, and this guy is just sort of uncontested on angles. Greg goes to try and shut him down, but you cannot face off against that guy in a 1v1 with a coach gun.
Yeah, the Cats, they had a good start to the fight, but Sky absolutely punished them for going too far, using that Bob in the backline, and the rest of the Cats gonna fall. Master Jedi trying to keep the fight going now. Bob onto the point, able to stall it, and actually Sonic Chronic picks up a huge kill onto Sky. Both Ashes down now as we go into overtime here. Slade with the copy onto the Vendetta, trying to look for something, but Para spinning in the backline. Charbotron so low on the cart, trying to stay alive through this defense major, cannot. Both supports down now for the Strays. Slade coming out of that duplication, not able to survive. It's only Nathan on the cart with 4 members of the Cats all surrounding him. He is going to go down, and it's going to be a 2nd point hold here for the Cats and Hats.
And the Skrungle Stray, I think, definitely wanted a little bit more there. Sky falling early, picked by Sonic Chronic, just so detrimental for that push. It just completely dismantled it, shut it down. It was just in the grave after that happened. And now the side of the Skrungle Stray, they need to, I mean, you could make some adaptations. What you had was kind of working a little bit better near the end, but effectively, if the Cats and the Hats cap immediately, you are in desperation mode. It's 2-fight territory at that point in time. You didn't even push it near the end of 2nd, so even that recontest is going to be very difficult there.
Yeah, we saw the Skrungle Strays. They played a little bit of that slower style, as you were mentioning earlier, just trying to build Razotaz's Nano, really trying to facilitate Nathan with that Nano-boosted Diva, as well as Sky just fishing for picks, but unfortunately that slower playstyle meant that they didn't really have that many fights on attack. But maybe that slower playstyle will work a little bit better on defense as they actually move Slade over to the Sojourn, so going with a double hit scan look here.
This comp really calls on Charbotron and Raz. Charbotron has to deny the engages onto specifically the Ana, but also the 2 hit scan DPS, and Raz just had to keep playing at a phenomenal level, build up those nanos and hit big nades on every single one of these engagements, because Para and Sonic will be hunting every single fight, and with people like Greg and Loaf who can sort of like follow up in, it's super dangerous, and you have to really preserve these high ground positions.
Yeah, Loaf moving over to the Wu Yang, potentially for some more pick potential as well. As we see the Cats start their attack here on Hollywood, Sonic Ronic just getting control of the high ground for now. Master Jedi actually sliding up there as well, and gets the first pick onto Slade. Sojourn differential in the server, as Para on this angle, looking to engage, waiting for the go button from Sonic Ronic. Nathan trying to keep this high ground contested, but now here it comes for the Cats and Hats, trying to collapse on this backline, but it's a well-timed sleep from Razotaz. Gonna be able to pick up the kill onto Para, but will lose her life in the process. Sonic losing his mech in the backline. It's gonna get the kill on the Charbotron in the Baby Dio form, but will fall. 2 ticks gained here. Nathan has to be able to contest here. Is going to be able to do so. No tank alive for the Cats and Hats, but Nathan, seemingly the only one there, is going to lose their mech. And first cap surely coming through. It's only the Baby Diva on point now. There it is, in a 5-minute time bank for the Cats and Hats.
Played with a nice exit pick, but numbers still in favor of the Cats and the Hats. The difference maker in that fight was the angle that Para was able to take. Playing against a comp that wants to take angles. A nice kill there by Nathan, cleaning up 1, but Para just completely denied that right side and basically pinched Sky, Raz, Charbotron, and Slade all into one room together. Nathan couldn't really do anything there. You can see Sonic Chronic taking the space, commanding the high ground, denying basically every single angle that Sky and Slade want to play from.
Yeah, this double hit scan look, it's only effective if they are able to take all those angles, as once the hit stands are stacked up together, it makes it all too easy for Para and Sonic to collapse on them and pick up the kills. As we see Sonic and Greg still holding his high ground, but Nathan actually able to punish Greg for standing a little bit too far up. They had to be a little bit more careful though there, falling down with that beat, but the payload actually getting a lot of progress here. The cap almost coming through. They have to think about getting touches. Master Jedi is going to fall. Sonic Ronic using that ultimate to try to get the remech. Should be able to do so, but it's still a man advantage for the Strays, and they are going to stabilize for now, but that cart is so close to the end.
The Strays have to get on high ground right now, because the rest of the Cats and the Hats are just going to walk up and take it from them by force. I mean, Slade is on a little bit of an angle. There go Raz and Charbotron finally getting back up, but this right side angle is under a lot of pressure, and you got to make sure if you're Nathan, you're counter diving just like that. The Bob is going to come in. Another nice angle found there as Para pops the Vendetta ultimate. Sky with a little nice dodge around the corner, and now multiple angles of pressure. Loaf is just caught out, but Nathan has to be called upon, looking towards this point, nano boosted and denying Sonic Chronic from any wins. Charbotron also with the rally, thinks the fight might not be going in their favor, and that's 100% true as Charbotron does fall there. It's all on Raz to keep the team alive, and that's exactly what's happening as Sky does clean up those 2 kills. Looks like the Skrungle shape will hold on just a little bit longer here.
Yeah, Sky using that Bob, I think, really creatively onto that awning as he did on defense, or sorry, on attack actually, and it worked just as well here, able to catch the Cats off guard, and a lot of ultimates invested. Loaf with this Wu Yang ult, gonna look to probably go on to Sonic Ronic, or Para perhaps, for the engage, but walking into this overclock from Slade, maybe they're able to get a pick. Para engaging now, Sonic Ronic with the Wu Yang ultimate. Para actually antied, is gonna fall down. Nobody's stunned up. They will get the trade on the Sky, but as Master Jedi falls, another time for a man advantage here for the Strays. Slade and not even needing to use their overclock as they use it now to try to close off the fight. Greg Low is gonna be able to live. Sonic Ronic now alone on point. Gonna lose his mech. And maybe a little stagger on the Diva. Nope, they will just kill it off. And 2 minutes on the time back now. So, quickly running out of time.
The Cats and the Hats really need to just commit to a theory there. They're either playing to clear the high ground, and then they play from the high ground. Just say, Sky and Slade, you cannot exist here. Or they need to say, hey, come to the cart, contest me. We're on the opposite high ground. If you walk down, you're getting shot at. We're getting shot at. And we're just gonna wing all you there. They're using ultimates, and it feels like they don't really have a plan of how to push this cart the last 5 meters it needs to go.
Yeah, engage Para on the high ground, but no follow-up from anyone. The rest of the team, it's It's actually Greg who gets the follow-up. The kill on the Razzmatazz. Potential opening now for the Cats and Hats. Charbatron, the only support alive for the Strays. On point, trying to brawl it out. Beat coming from Greg. They want to end it here and now. Charbatron trying to play her life is unable to do so. No supports alive here for the Strays. Sky using the Bob on point. Nathan going with that self-destruct. Is able to pick up Greg with one. And Bob still on the point. Nano boost onto Sky. Last desperate hope. It will pick up the kill on Para. Sky with two. Loaf as well. But somebody needs to touch the point. Nobody's there. And the Cats and Hats, they will even up the series. Despite Sky's heroics at the end of Hollywood there.
It was a little bit too close for comfort, Nate. A little bit too close for comfort there. When the Cats capped with 5, I was like, oh, this is just a done deal. But I mean, the Strays really finding an answer on a times where they definitely shouldn't be. Sky, I mean, he lost this fight, but still, look at the heroics.
Yeah, if he managed to clutch it up, that would have been an all-time clip, but unable to do so. Instead, the Cats and Hats, they will win the map, even up our series 1-1. Folks, we have a series on our hands. War predicted it would go to map 5, and maybe that's the case. I don't know, but what I do know is that map 3 is going to come up after this break.
These beats are the purest. Prove it.
Welcome back,
Ready.
everybody, to the Cats Super Bowl. Map 3 now, as we see the Skrungle Strays pick their tried and true Circuit Royale. We've seen them pick this map a lot throughout the season, and in previous series, when they've almost won their map picks, it has been Circuit Royale. That's been consistently their most competitive map, so not really a shocker, as we see that here. The bans, of course, the Cats banning Widow. Not too shocking on Circuit Royale. The Strays will respond with banning the Wu Yang.
I like both these bands here. Denies Sky, denies sort of Greg and from what they're trying to do. But I do think this map inherently favors the DPS duo of Sky and Slade, in my opinion. That duo is just like really, really scary here. So I'm not surprised they're keeping them in, moving Charbatron. They're keeping Charbatron on the support, but putting them on the Mercy character, which is just to pocket Sky, but I think you can also do some pocketing of Slade. I know we were talking about that before the game even started, Nave.
Yeah, and this Charbatron Mercy is something we've seen from the Strays throughout the season, not just on Circuit. They've actually ran this on other maps where they just put Charbatron on the Mercy, pocket their hit scan, and that's really their win condition. As we do see some stats for Razmataz here, we have as Baptiste, 15 eliminations, 4 final blows, a lot of deaths actually, more deaths than I would
A
have
lot
liked.
of healing. Hello, like I'm
But
looking
yes,
at that
also
number.
an insane amount of healing. I didn't even notice that. It is a crazy amount of healing for Razmataz. But
Yeah.
get into the attack now. Nathan on the Ramatra instead of the Sigma. We will see Sonic playing the Sigma instead. As we saw with the stats, Razmataz going to be playing this Baptiste, looking to pocket Nathan through all the damage that he is going to take. Sky with the Mercy pocket, Charbatron on this high ground, looking to duel out Master Jedi on the Ash. And a lot of space actually given up by the Cats and Hats that will concede the entire first corner as Nathan is taking this high ground away from Sonic Ronic.
Yeah, the second and third corners are going to be what's really difficult here because Nathan, if he swings this, hopefully there's a Discord orb on him and like every single person is shooting right back at him. But so far, I mean, been able to control this angle just fine. And the damage output from the Skrungle Strays just seems to be a little bit better thus far. Sonic Chronic looking to keep control of this angle, but shields on either side, and Sonic's going to be the one to drop first, forcing the rest of the Cats and the Hats to back up, and Slade gets an opening pick.
Yeah, Nathan using that as the go button, walking forward with this Ramatra form, is going to be able to get the kill onto Sonic Ronic in the end with the help of Sky, picking up a 2K. It's looking like first cap gonna come through as they send Rez back to the payload, clean it up. Master Jedi also gonna fall. So a quick first cap here for the Skrungle Strays.
Yeah, and you can see why they like to pick this map. I feel like their theory on this map is maybe a little bit the most like refined. They do play it a lot in scrims. As Greg opens with an early window, actually, he just catches Sky. I do like that trade, even though you lose Para in the process, probably not intended, but it allows Sonic Chronic to get down and make a competitive fight of this corner. If you can keep control of this right side high ground that Sonic is looking to stage towards, you have a lot of power on this map, but the difference is you don't have as many ults. Loaf made the swap over onto Aurora, which is going to be a little bit less stealing and very detrimental as Greg's caught out early.
Slade with another first pick here for the Strays, and they actually have a lot of ults to work with. 5 ults online, could potentially keep it going. Master Jedi gonna fall as well, and just as quickly as first point was looking to cap, second point might be as well here. Nathan holding this choke really hard. It's going to be very difficult now for the Cats and Hats to walk through and break through this choke, especially with the 5 ultimates. We'll see here. Sonic Ronic looking to walk now. Greg actually gets a fantastic first pick onto Slade. Sky using that Bob to try to hit Sonic Ronic is going to get the kill onto Greg in kind. And the Gravitic Flux here from Sonic Ronic onto Nathan is not going to be able to do enough. And the Bob actually is going to pick up that kill and cap. 5-minute time bank now for the Strays.
And that is perfectly fine if they use 3 ults. Does not matter. I don't think anybody cares. You have a 5-minute time bank on Circuit Royale. You can just do your thing. Sonic's swapping over onto the Ramatra because they need to find some answer to what Nathan is doing. Needs to find some answer to this damage, just onslaught in their face. And you still have Slade with the OC, Raz with the window. You can open fights up with that. DPS ults on the other side for Para and Master Jedi as Sonic approaches on this high ground.
Yeah, over onto the Ramatra now. taking that mirror, is going to get slowed up by Nathan, and Razmataz going for this window as well. Sonic in a very poor position, but with the help of the overclock of Para, Razmataz is going to go down. So advantage now for the Cats and Hats as the Skrungle Strays turning tail and running out of this fight. Slade on the cart though, getting a lot of progress in the meantime.
Yeah, the damage had already been done. Slade pushed the cart from basically the start of third all the way to almost last fight territory, and now you swing with 5 towards that high ground because of the fact that the Cats and Hats didn't clearly win that fight. They need to take control of that high ground, and Para actually grabs 2 early. Slade's going to answer back to the OC of themselves, evening up the fight and catching another one. Nathan has to stay alive, and now a 2v2 on the high ground, a DPS and a support, and Loaf wants to win it for good. Showing up against Slade, looking to get that proc on the ultimate, and it does, catching 2 to win out that high ground. I think that ultimate was definitely worth it to just gain control of the map and hopefully gain the momentum back in your favor.
Yeah, I think well worth that ultimate, as well as the other ones they invested in the fight. I kind of thought Para was maybe mishearing, as Para actually slid in when Slade used the overclock instead of on their team. So kind of odd choice, but it worked out in the end for the Cats and Hats, as we see 3-minute time bank now, 2 minutes already gone. Sonic had actually kind of dropped, is behind Nathan now. Lamp and window used from Greg is going to be able to catch Razmataz out. Charvatron gonna pop this Valkyrie, and Sky using the Bob, trying to keep the fight going. Sonic is gonna fall on the point, so a trade, but a massive favor now for the Skrungle Strays as they keep this point moving towards the end of the map.
Yeah, but Circuit Royale, infamously very, very difficult to cap. I mean, you have ultimates you can just throw in from these angles. A Bob, you have to respect that, and it's placed so deep from Master Jedi that the entire side of the Skrungle Stray basically walk all the way back to the start of the point. Sonic will be moving over to that high ground, but that begs the question of who's going to drop down and touch the point when Nathan is on the other side. Who's going to walk into this annihilation?
Sonic is the answer. He is on point, contesting Nathan. Nobody on high ground for the Strays, so Para and Master Jedi getting free reign of these angles. Sonic still just stalling it on point as much as possible. Razmataz is actually on high ground, trying to contest Para. Had to use that lamp to keep herself alive, as Nathan on point is backing up a little bit, but Sky gets the first pick onto Master Jedi, but is actually going to fall instead. Charvatron trying to get out with her life is unable to do so, and I think we saw the value of the high ground there for the Cats and Hats.
Yeah, I love the way that Para is just playing this high ground, like manipulating angles, peeking from different angles, just forces Raz off of an angle that, I mean, she's not necessarily favored, but it's an angle that if she doesn't step up and contest, or if somebody doesn't step up and contest that angle, you're just going to be shot from multiple angles, and you're going to be absolutely suffocated in one of the smallest chokes in the game. And Greg with another early pick onto Sky. I think that's the second time that's happened. You force out a res. I mean, it's a little bit less damaging because you have that mercy, but you're still in 2-fight territory, and you need to make something happen on this high ground.
Strays going up with this window on the high ground, but it's an overclock and a captive Sun in response here. Loaf gonna get a nice hit on the Razmataz. Master Jedi with the follow through. Window now from Greg, but Sky with a massive dynamite picking up 2 here. I don't think it's gonna be enough in the end. Slade and Sky, the only ones left now. Slade trying to keep it going. Sky as well investing the Bob, but is gonna fall, potentially wanting those ultimates back.
And Sonic just gets out for free. The Bob meant to trap the tank player in position, and Para maybe split the fight, have a chance to win it, but it's kind of all for naught. Still a little bit of an ult advantage. You have Annihilation and Valkyrie online, but 30 seconds remaining. This is your last fight. You need to clear the high ground, then drop down to point, and Sonic has the Annihilation to just perma-live this angle as well.
Charvatron with the Valkyrie as well here for the Skrungle Strays. It's the last fight territory. They had 5 minutes going into point C. If they don't cap it here, it will be a travesty. Sky, first opening pick here for the Skrungle Strays. That's a massive for them. As we see Nathan dropping onto this point now as overtime begins. Using that Annihilation as well. Actually, Sonic gonna use the Annihilation to boot. We see both Ramatros just blocking, playing it slow, as the Annihilation will run out. Overtime, keep going here. Sky gets picked off by Greg again. First pick here for the Cats and Hats Bob from Master Jedi on the point. Razotaz tried to get into the lamp, but unable to do so. So a huge advantage now for the Cats and Hats. Nathan unable to block once that Ramatra form runs out. And that will be where the payload ends. They had 5 minutes going into point C, but only 87 meters to show for it, as the Cats and Hats will hold off on defense.
Greg's had a couple now crucial early picks specifically onto Sky in a fight that you definitely shouldn't be winning as a Baptiste into an Ashe. I mean, sometimes you forget how dangerous this person is on the flex support and also main support role, but like that was also what was happening a lot on Hollywood as well. Like you just run down Sky on Lucio, and you just don't see it coming because you don't expect that much SR and that much skill on your flex support. But even despite it slowing down a lot on the third point, it felt like the Skrungle Stray definitely got it very far, and this is definitely a hold that they can hold on to.
Yeah, definitely a winnable position for the Strays. I think we saw maybe some of the faults with their strategy there in the end. Sky, multiple fights where he just goes a little bit too aggressive, right? We know how much of an ego you have to have on hit scan, right? Thinking that you can win any duel, and maybe you can, but sometimes when you're peeking and the rest of your team is behind cover, maybe that's not the play.
Yeah, and it's hard with the Mercy Pocket too. I've had other people tell me this. Like sometimes you're being Mercy Pocketed, sometimes you're not being Mercy Pocketed because your Mercy has to heal like the tank or the other DPS. So like sometimes it's very, very easy to get overconfident in situations like that. But yeah, I do have to shout out. I mean, Sky with a ton of damage on the side, but also like Greg doing a great job of matching the healing of Razmataz, and also a lot of damage. But Sky's also just so good. Opens up with the first pick. And Loaf, I think, is going to have a lot of trouble swinging these angles with that pylon that Nathan can just put so much pressure onto.
Yeah, this Mercy on defense, actually quite possibly even better than it is on attack. Just letting Sky free farm down these angles, down main, getting the first pick in that fight, causing a reset, and looking for another first pick here. Skonic Ronic actually taking a lot of positioning, forcing Nathan to back up a little bit, but Sky once again with the first pick onto Para. But Jumbotron actually getting traded by Master Jedi in response here. We see Sonic Chronic using that form on the high ground, trying to force the rest of the Strays back. Will do so successfully as the payload starts to move now for the Cats and Hats.
Yeah, and once you've lost this high ground, it's so hard to hang on to this first section of first point. But Sky out near Statue on the coast side is just unmovable. I mean, Slade has that rail shot, or Pear has that rail shot, and domes him actually. So it's going to open up this fight, and Para just swinging onto another angle here as Sonic just holding down this space. Sky is one of the closest in ult, but is not in the fight, so Razmataz might need to be a hero with this window.
Lamp used early from Razmataz, trying to keep herself alive, is unable to do so as the backline from the Strays gets collapsed upon by Sonic Ironic and the rest of the Cats and Hats. First cap coming through here, 5-minute time bank on point B for them.
And Sky's still looking to challenge, and it's going to be another painful stagger. The good news is there's going to be a lot of ults starting to come online, and you can still get a decent contest, but now that you have 4 people just holding this choke, you need to use some to break through. Again, another choke that's like super hard in the game. You might want to invest a Bob or even a window to just swing out of this space.
Yeah, as you see the Strays swinging, Nathan using that shield, but Greg using this amplification matrix, trying to stop that aggression. Nathan thinks he can fight through it without the annihilation, but will actually go down. Razmataz is able to pick up 2, but Para, with a 2k of their own, gives a man advantage for the Cats and Hats as the rest of them run for the hills.
That's the thing people have to understand about this choke. I mean, it's so hard to like take control of. You need to like ult into it. Like I think the ults were used maybe a little bit late there for the Skrungle Stray. The fact that the window's up farming that much value, the Bob value came in a little bit later, but Slade with the ultimate, and another one on the other side of things. Q's probably being pressed on all sides, on all angles, and Nathan just trying to stay alive from the point. They're gonna fall, and it's domination. out equal time bank here for the Cats and the Hats, but it's a question of can the Strays hold on third the same way that the Cats did?
A little too many Qs there for Nathan to be able to survive. That's maybe one of the weaknesses of running this like Baptiste Mercy is you don't actually have a defensive support ult to live and keep your tank alive when they just use 4 ults and just only look at the tank. As Master Jedi getting picks for the Cats and Hats here on point C. The payload is moving and they're looking really good here.
Yeah, at this point you have a healed advantage. I'm wondering if Nathan he wants to swing the angle, but just being like equal in numbers is just not enough. You need to wait for Sky to come back. You need to wait for the contest on this angle, but at that point in time it might be too late because Sonic has a slow right on the corner and Para and Greg slide up. It's gonna be a 5v5 fight for this high ground position, and Sonic just able to hold block in the corner as the cart pushes closer and closer.
They have to be careful with a point, but a first pick here, Rezotaz able to pick up the kill on the Sojourn. So good start here now for the Skrungle Strays. Nathan gonna drop the contested point, but Sonic Ronic thinking it's winnable with this Annihilation. The only ultimate there available for the Cats and Hats, not able to find much as Sky does clear the high ground. Master Jedi will fall down. And it looks like the Strays are gonna stabilize. I say that, but Greg on the high ground is dueling with the help of this lamp, forcing the Valkyrie out from Charbotron. Nathan low on the point, he's gonna be able to survive. So I think now the stabilization potentially coming through. I say, but once again, Para with another pick onto Slade. Bob used from Sky to try to hold it off. Amplification Matrix now from Greg as Para goes down. Nathan using this Annihilation on point, trying to force Sonic Ronic to fall down. Lamp from downtown from Greg is able to keep Sonic Ronic alive, but the Cats and Hats are finally disengaging.
So costly for the Skrungle Stray. I mean, they basically used everything in the kitchen sink. They threw it all on the table. They do manage to hold on, but there's still like 2.5 minutes, Nave. I mean, this is so much time and a lot that needs to be answered for. You basically have 2 like full ult cycles, and the cart is just moments, inches away from crossing that finish line.
2 minutes now for the Cats and Hats. What was a 5-minute time bank looking like the same story as it was for the Skrungle Strays. They have cleared this high ground for now as they look to good slow from Nathan to stop the aggression, forcing that lamp out from Greg. Para now going with this overclock now, trying to force Nathan off the high ground. They will force the Ramatra to drop as they finally clear this high ground. Sky actually gets caught with the slow from Sonic Ronic. The res comes through from Charbotron though, so still 5v5 as the ults come through. Master Jedi, Loaf going with the Captive Son, able to pick up the Mercy. Slade will go down as well to the Captive Son of Loaf, but Sky picks up 2 in the trades before falling down to Greg. Sonic Ronic 1 HP in the Annihilation is able to live through it, but nobody was on the payload, so maybe a touch still now. Slade with the overclock, the last hope now for the Skrungle Strays. Swaps coming through, Charbotron trying to get the touch on the Lucio. Slade goes down though without using the overclock. Nathan is here on the point as Sky has the Bob. Sonic Ronic and Greg both fall down. They didn't respect the Bob out from Sky, and I think the stabilization is there for the Skrungle Strays.
Oh my god, Nathan is so low. He's just camping in the corner, waiting for the heals to come back, and they're coming soon. But at this point in time, I mean, you've gotten it so close, and every team just invested into that fight. Slade might be the only person with the ultimate. Now, Nathan's gonna go back over onto the Ram, wants to still keep some of the same form, but the support line is gonna stay the same, so we'll see if Raz and Charbotron can build up any perks by the time this fight happens. All eyes on Slade in this fight, on the high ground, needs to catch one with this overclock. That is a fight-winning, even game-winning ultimate. Master Jedi gets the first pick.
Slow onto Greg onto the point though. Slade using the overclock, trying to even it out. 3 or 4 the Skrungle Strays will get a kill onto Loaf. So 4v4 on point. Razataz is gonna pick up Para, who somehow found his way all the way onto the high ground. Greg gonna fall to the slow of Nathan. Sonic Ronic, the last alive on point. 18 seconds left. I don't know if they're going to be able to get a touch here. No swaps coming through here for the Cats and Hats. 12 seconds left now. Greg going over to Lucio. I don't know if they can get it. Loaf goes down. Nathan had moved so far forward to get that pick. Greg trying to slide in on the Lucio, trying to get the touch, is unable to do so, is going to die. And the Skrungle Strays have won their second map of the series.
Oh
after
my
a
gosh,
5-minute
Dave.
hold
Oh
on
my
Circuit
god.
Royale.
Oh, by the fur of their fangs. Can I even say that? I don't know, but they pull it out. Wow. And I thought that was lost. I thought we were going to map 4 and it was going to be Cats in the Hats who I'd be saying are on match point. But I mean, the DPS and tank, Sky and Nathan just come back, change the fight, Slade with that ultimate. And like the healing just so good from Rathmataz and Charbotron. This team is firing on all cylinders. They've got the momentum back. And it's just, will they be able to get their final map that they need to win a series? It's still close on the other side too, though. I don't know.
We'll see. Slade, maybe it was a blessing in disguise that they ended up dying with the overclock in hand, able to use it to win that final fight for the Skrungle Strays as they go up 2-1 in the series and are one map away from winning the series, their first of the season. You're not going to want to miss it. Map 4 coming up after this.
These beats are the purest. Move it.
Welcome back, everybody. Map 4 in the Cat Super Bowl is here. The Cats and Hats, they picked Lijiang Tower as the Skrungle Strays. They banned the Orisa, and the Cats and Hats, in response, banned the Mei War. How do you feel about these bans?
Yeah, we're talking behind the desk, and I think that this ban does favor the Cats and the Hats. I mean, the theory behind the Stronger Strays ban is you want to force the Ramacha duel because you feel like you're better on Ramacha, which so far has been true. You know, Spicy won his Ramacha duel, and Nathan won his Ramacha duel, so I think that's a good read, right? But you're letting Verity kind of go to comfort picks on DPS, and you're taking away what I think is the real difference maker on that map 1 that we saw, which was Raz on the Mei. And I think that's gonna be the scary factor because the Cats and the Hats did, I think, make the correct choice. They banned out that Mei, and now it's a question of what's Raz gonna play here. She can go to the Pharah. She has, I think, one of the best as far as in the league, but it's also a question of does that play well with the competition they're running right now.
Yeah, we'll see. You and I were actually talking in the break. We thought that it was a little bit smarter for the Strays, instead of banning the Orisa, to maybe ban the Sim, as we've seen the Cats and Hats run this Sim comp before, and I think that's what they're going to run here.
I'd not be surprised. Verity loves to play the Symmetra, and I think this is a point that really does favor it. And if you can win with the Symmetra on this point, I mean, you get the other two. It's a comp that they probably don't see coming, and it allows you to bunker, which I think is what the Skrungle Strays like don't want you to do. They want to like take angles and they want to like play for like, or sorry, the Cats and the Hats don't want you to do. The Cats and the Hats want to take angles. They want to like play for like this space and then like try and run you down. But if this but if you just bunker, then you can just deny that and live on point.
Yeah. As we load up into Gardens, map 4, Skrungle Strays, they are one map away from being a winning team, not going winless on the season. Razataz is actually going to go over to the Sojourn. It's not going to be the Pharah, as Verity actually going to match on the Sojourn pick. As you see, the TP out for the Cats actually gets them into position here first, as they control this bridge with Sonic Chronic on this Diva.
Yeah, and Greg just gonna be so scary on this angle. I think just the presence of the Diva and the Lucio, like these multiple boop conditions, and also Verity can get that slow pair, can hold the angle so well, is gonna force the Skrungle Stray towards this white room, but it's also not gonna be in time before the flip comes in. And you can see multiple angles being taken, and Sky and Nathan are actually going to be under a lot of pressure on one side, and the entirety of the Skrungle Stray feel like split, feel very discombobulated. Spicy taking a lot of damage as Verity and Para just slide in for the kill.
TP in from Nathan, trying to keep Spicy alive, but instead it just leads to him going down as well. It's a complete wipe for Sonic Chronic, 4K for the Diva Ringer, as the Cats and Hats with the first cap and already over 30% here on Lijiang Tower. As you were mentioning, the split there from the Skrungle Strays, although good in theory, in practice, the timing just wasn't there. When Sky was getting forced out, Spicy was actually engaging on the point, and it led to him losing all his cooldowns and getting picked in the end.
Yeah, and Verity just looking to shoot down these angles, pressure away. Really, Spicy's contest. Skrungle Stray want to go from this high ground. Greg looking for a boop early, and Para's going to swing over in as well, but Spicy's going to be the first one to claim a kill, as Para's looking to chop down this backline. Slade 1 HP, and eventually does go down. These fights very, very scrappy, but I think that scrappiness is always going to favor the side with the Vendetta. But they do manage to flip the point. Sky under a lot of trouble here. The high noon is actually going to be popped in the face of DM. I don't think they can get anything.
Yeah, I don't know if that was the play for Sky in the end there. They do get the flip, so 7% online for the Strays, but over 70% for the Cats and Hats as Last Fight territory comes through. They have 5 ults to work with, and not as many for the Strays, as Spicy and Raz still a little bit too far away from their ultimates. Maybe they'll come up mid-fight if it lasts long enough, but right now it's not looking like it's gonna be the case. 90% now and ticking for the Cats and Hats. Spicy looking to get engaged here. Nathan going with this Kitsune rush down main, but Verity with a headshot gets the first pick here for the Cats and Hats. Kitsune rush second now from Loath on point. Spicy so low, trying to block to stay alive. Will do so, but the rest of the team's gonna fall down before Spicy eventually goes down. Not quite 100-0, but it sure felt like it for the Cats and Hats.
Yeah, that was just basically complete and utter domination for the side of the Cats, and I think they just like, I mean, my look was gonna be, oh, you just play the flex DPS of that Symmetra, but I mean, Para on the Vendetta's doing work, and Verity's still able to put up Metro numbers on this Sojourn as well. There needs to be a different answer, and you can see Spicy making the swap, going over onto the Zarya. I think if this is going to be a little bit better for them, it leans the team more into a brawl that can face off against what the Cats and the Hats are doing, and I do like that with Sonic Chronic. The Soul Read has came out. pops over to the Ram. Holy, is that a stream snipe or is this just the greatest soul read ever? It's not a stream snipe, but it is a crazy soul read.
Sonic Ronic in the heads here. Verity on this sim tried to get the Cats and Hats TPing the point, but actually misplaced the TP. They still will get the first control as Sky on this Reaper and Spicy on the Zarya looking to engage with these bubble onto the Reaper combos. As we see Sky going in, is going to get the first pick onto Verity, so good start here for the Strays on Night Market as Para falling so low, getting beamed down by Spicy, will fall to Sky as well. Sonic Ronic trying to trade in the backline, going with the form, but it doesn't matter as Sky has killed a third in the fight. And first cap goes in favor of the Strays.
And despite the soul read from the Cats and the Hats, I mean, still some swaps need to be made. Verity moves over onto the Reaper, but not in time to save their tank, as Sky just keeps on walking in. Hey, if you have the bubbles to do it, go all in, my friend. The Cats and the Hats basically sent all the way back to spawn, and Sonic Ronic now moves to the Diva, DMs some of Sky's damage, because I think that is the difference right now.
Yeah, maybe a little bit more aggressive as well, forcing out Nathan. Razataz actually getting caught a little bit here on this Mega side, but is going to get the bubble from Spicy to stay alive, and the rest of the Skrungle Strays have arrived. Suzu to keep Razataz alive from Tara, who's so low. Raz going to get that first pick. Nathan now going with this Kitsune Rush to keep the fight going now, as the Cats and Hats trying to desperately disengage and prevent any further losses.
I know it'd be so nice to have a Mei on the previous map. It'd be so nice to have a Mei right now, but unfortunately that's not the way the bans went. Now finally some ults online for the Cats and the Hats. But it's a question of, is it gonna be in time? The Spicy dropped so low and the target fire was there, but Sky with the Death Blossom is gonna all be DM'd, but he somehow stays alive over right on the point as well. As Sky just cleaning up on all fronts. Nathan, the healing's there. Sonic Ronic is going to be demhacked, no bomb to pop.
All the stagger, maybe?
And a little bit of stagger, but I think they're going to be back in time for a final fight. I don't know if it'll matter, though, Nave.
Yeah, I think they were a little bit worried there to stagger the Diva further. But 80% and counting. The one good thing here for the Cats and Hats is they didn't use a lot of ults. 4 coming online here for this final fight, as they're going to need to go towards point, get the touch. Verity TP's onto the point, getting that touch. Low Kitsune Rush in main. But Sonic Ronic forced to use that Diva Bomb early, will get the trade onto Sky, but it's a 3-man in the grab for Spicy. Razataz cleaning up with the Helix Rocket. Greg alone on point with the help of Sonic Ronic now, who comes back in, is going to be able to get the flip here. Only supports alive for the Skrungle Strays. They are going to be able to win in the end here, are the Cats and Hats. Get the flip through and keep the second point going.
And this is really big, one, because it denies the Zarya's charge, and two, like, Razmataz is just sort of setting up on these angles, and now Sonic Ronic gets to control what angles she takes and what angles she's not able to. Early bubble cycle does come in from Sky, and it's actually going to be able to catch out. Verity doesn't have that much support for this, so the rest of the Cats and the Hats need to back up towards this point. They do have a couple ults, or there's one ult actually to use here. It's all going to be on the side of Para.
Bubble in from Sky, but a boop there from Greg! That's your highest R Lucio getting the value. Sonic Ronic in the meantime loses his mech, is gonna go down, and a Kitsune Rush here in main from Nathan. Verity solo ults Razataz in the backline, so trades going either way. Verity picks up another onto Slade, but it's a fully charged Zarya on point is Spicy, trying to win it out here for the Strays. Greg now with this beat here, trying to force Spicy out of the point, is going to be able to do so. So Slate stabilization and no cap went through now. Sonic Ronic back on the Doomfist, punch through, but goes down. Maybe not what he wanted out of that one. TP in from Sky onto Loaf, trying to get the pick. Bubble there to keep him alive. Greg goes down here, so 2-man advantage now for the Skrungle Strays on point. Verity falling so low inside this Wraith form is going to live for now, but has to get the touch. Grab to get Verity, just secure the kill on the Reaper. Sonic Ronic back once again on the Doomfist, but just as effective as the first time, as in not effective at all. Continuing rush from Loaf on point. Last ditch effort for the Cats and Hats, but it's not going to be enough. The Skrungle Strays are going to even us up here on Lijiang Tower and go to match point.
Yeah, I mean, Map point here for the side of both teams, and you're going to the most brawl favored map. I'm not even sure who this favors right now. I'm wondering if both teams will look to keep their same look. I mean, Sonic Chronic probably wants to be on this Ramatra, and it's going to work a little bit better inside of Control Center, but there's a question of can that synergize with the team, and can you find a way to shut down Sky, who's just pelting with damage right now? And also have to shout out Razmataz on the Soldier too, who has a ton as well, despite not getting as many bubbles, just being able to take all the angles that they want. The Cats and the Hats really do need to use the advantage they have, Lucio speed versus the Juno speed, to sort of run down either whatever target they want to go on, to be fair. Like, it's just, you need to burn down somebody.
Yeah, Para back on the Vendetta pick has worked so well for them throughout this series. TP here from Sky, but Greg says no thank you, not happening again, as the Reaper goes down first. And the Cats and Hats looking strong to get this first cap now on Control Center.
Sneaking around outside on the coast, I think she might have been spotted out, but managed to reconvene with the rest of the team. And this brawl look at the Ramatra just works wonders on this point. I mean, Wraith already forced out of Sky, and the places you have to TP, or like the angles you can manipulate on this map, are just a little bit weaker. I mean, you do these bubble cycles, but it's really only down one lane. Para does get caught out early though, so numbers disadvantage for the Cats and the Hats.
Yeah, Greg also tried to wall ride, but actually slipped and fell to the ground, and is going to lose their life in response. With the help of those two picks, the Skrungle Strays get a quick recap here as they start getting their percentage ticked up.
And yeah, the way you have to play against Super Comp, you either have to burn the Reaper and just commit and say like, hey, we're burning this Reaper the moment he TP's in, despite the bubble, or you have to go on the backline. In that fight, they didn't really do that. I'm looking to see them do that a little bit more. I mean, Para just catches one on the angle as Sonic Chronic working this high ground. Numbers advantage for Cats and the Hats now as they do approach from White Room.
Grab from Spicy, catches on to 3 members of the Cats and Hats, but a beat there. Delayed as long as possible for Greg, and the timing is perfect. 2 kills on both supports on the Skrungle Strays. And the Cats and Hats gonna get a quick retake here, as there was really no follow-up on that grab at all.
Yeah, and that was a great beat from Greg. Allowed Lucio to just pop that immediately, but having the discipline to say, hey, my entire team is basically caught out on this beat. I'm gonna wait a second and just win the fight with it instead. Spicy, a bubble forced out early. The go button could be pressed, but you don't really want to try to sneak through that choke, especially when there's a rush right in your face. But Para gonna pop the ult, swings and misses onto Sky. And an OC from Verity just holding down this space is 2 ult for 1 trade, but it will keep the timer ticking for the Cats and the Hats' favor.
Second engage now coming for the Skrungle Strays. Razmataz, Slade gonna go with their ults. Continue Russian response from Loaf, but actually the Cats and Hats are just mostly using a disengage. Razmataz does get a kill from onto Verity before losing her own life in the process. Sonic Chronic now going with his Annihilation, punching out Slade. He gonna get the kill onto the Juno. And Spicy now alone on point, no help in sight. Sky using the Blossom, trying to make something happen, will get the kill on Para. But Spicy alone on point, no supports to keep them alive. Will go down to 80% and counting now for the Cats and Hats. Sky has to be able to live here. Razmataz also a little bit far up, but is going to get out with their life for now.
And Greg already so close, has that second beat online, can just pop it, close the map out here and now, send us to map 5. Will there even be a touch? Sky looking for it. I mean, Slay could maybe come from main, but there's no
I don't think
angles.
there's a touch.
Where
There's no
where
touch.
is it? Spicy, hello, pick up the phone. Nobody can find it. And ladies and gentlemen, it's exactly what we expected. It's map 5. It's cinema. It's the Cat Super Bowl going all the way.
Could you want anything else? One of the best games of the season. It is the last game of the regular season. 2-2 as we head into map 5. The Cats and Hats even it up after a really close Lijiang Tower.
It was an incredible map on both sides of things. I mean, the adaptations that the Skrungle Strays were being able to make, especially on that second point, like, it absolutely insane. I didn't even expect that. I didn't expect it to be that close, but hey, the moment I expected start to doubt, you saw this on the first map, you saw this on Circle Royale. The moment you start to doubt, like, will this be close? It's always close, every single time.
Who's gonna win it? Who's gonna take home the Cat Super Bowl championship? Is it gonna be the Cats and Hats? Is it gonna be the Skrungle Strays? I don't know, but we'll find out in Map 5 after this break. Don't go anywhere.
Like how gotta solve the mysteries in my busy town. Did you see all up in my busy town? Gotta be when I make a double D or an Eddie. Feeling like a fitty cause I walk and I'm on top like a head on a mop. I can't stop this crop. The ripping is just endless like Infinious you Candace. All the free time that you hand us. I'll be honest, I'll be candid like I can do what I ran do like a candle, like I'm Randall, like I'm Gandalf. Cannot pass me. How you feeling? Do not sass me. Please do not harass me. If you want to, you can ask me. Talking gangster doesn't last me. You don't like it, then move past me. You don't like it, that's blasphemy. Blasphemy, this a last for me. Couldn't cast for me with a fishing pole. Blasphemy, this a last of me. Couldn't cast for me like what role? Blasphemy, this a last for me. Couldn't cast for me. Hit it with a pole. Blasphemy, this a last for me. Couldn't cast for me. You already know. Y'all already know, hit the bath salts when I hop in, make a bubbly a back on. Y'all already know, got a bad roll, 12-15 knows one move tack on. Y'all already know, she'll surf in the snow. Where's my project? Got the world record. Y'all already know when it's welcome to the show. Please silence your phones when I jaggy at cones. When I jaggy at cones and I'm paving the roads and I'm pedaling the roses. My bow stuff like Moses, we touching our noses, we hitting these poses along to the music. I'm pumping hypnosis, hypnotized in tranced in lives like cherry pies. I'm filled with pride. I'm innocent, please let me go. So traumatic, I thought I died. I thought I died, but it was just this song. Bumping to the beat, set aside like a pong. Answer your question, but I answered it wrong. Song so hot to the touch I use tongs. When I handle it, candle it. Then we eat in, I'm a fan of it. No smoking on the cannabis until you eat eggs max. I'm feeling like a robot, like a Baymax. See big hair 16 IMAX. Well, where was 1 to 5? Nobody knows my shops, but I close. It's time to rest my eyes on.
Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Map 5 of the Cat Bowl, the Cat Super Bowl, the Litter Box Bowl, whatever you want to call it. Here we are. The Skrungle Strays have won 2 maps this series, which is 2 more they've won the rest of the season. Can they win a third to close it out, get their first win of the season? I don't know, but here we are to find out. Esperanza is the pick here for the Cats in Hats, I believe, as the Skrungle Strays chose to ban first. And with their first ban, they go with Reinhardt of all heroes. Cats in Hats ban the Ashen response. War, what are your thoughts on these bans?
I mean, you want to. I kind of understand this, and I kind of don't, because you're saying that you can play the comp that you want to play on any map, and you're saying you don't have the Mei ban anymore. We wanted the Mei ban. We'll just go the Mei. Now, can you play the Mei on Esperanza? Does Razmataz know if she can play the Mei on Esperanza? Does Razmataz go to select a character?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is
Razmataz,
Razmataz here? Okay, no, soldier. Okay.
thinking about it, in the end, we'll pick the soldier here. So
I'm not sure how I feel about this. Para on the Vendetta, who we thought was a great ban on the desk, it would deny the Ash ban too. I think was the meta ban here, because now you're forced to play this like pokey style brawl.
pause.
the-
I see
Yeah. Oh,
here.
there we go. I was
Yo,
just
NA
gonna
prod.
say.
Okay, here we go.
NA prod.
Greg's the host, by the way, for anyone who's blaming the late pause.
Got you.
I think this makes sense now, right? Why Raz wasn't on May, perhaps because May is banned.
Yep.
But yeah, like you were mentioning, I think the Vendetta ban absolutely I thought was the #1 problem for the Skrungle Strays on Lijiang Tower. Par was putting in so much work on that Vendetta character, as he's done on last series. I remember when my team played against the Cats and Hats, the Vendetta was absolutely their #1 threat, and being able to ban it as they picked first ban, I think would have been probably the smartest idea. But instead they banned the Reinhardt, which I don't think the Cats have played a single map of Reinhardt the whole season.
I mean, it's just a protect ban. I mean, you're saying Spicy's a little bit more flexible on that tank role, so you can do a little bit more there, and lean into that Ryan mirror that won you map 1. I mean, this is the map that's probably the most similar to that map 1, so you can maybe do a lot with that. I'm still very interested because they're gonna select the Mei in 5 seconds right here. They need to, but I'm interested to see how you play these geometries with Mei, because as somebody who likes the Mei myself, I don't know. Like, you really need to either say, if Para and Sonic come in, we are immediately killing them, or we are speedrunning on their backline and hoping Greg can't outspeed us because he has amp. But, I mean, Greg's been leading the team very well. The kites for this side of the Cats and Hats have been very, very good throughout this entire series. I would not bank on a mistake here from either team, especially when the stakes are so high.
Yeah, Lobster and Chak actually mentioned something I didn't think about would have been the Lucio ban coming out.
Mhm.
Greg so prolific on this Lucio character, and we see the Strays, they're running the Juno instead. So that would have been another option. I think it also would have been better than the Reinhardt ban. So just a little bit questionable here. We'll see if it works out for them as we go into Esperanza here. With Mei enabled, Razmataz is going to be playing their favorite Cryogenesis. As the engage here from Sonic Chronic on the bridge is just going to lose their mech so early. The wall from Razmataz was perfect to cut out that Diva and lose the mech here. Picking up that kill as well as the one onto Loaf. So good first fight here for the Skrungle Strays.
Yeah, very nice cleanup, and you can already see how this Mei is being utilized. I think it's going to be a little bit harder once we get into the open space. I mean, you have a few like nooks and crannies, some grounds you can sort of wall off at the start of the map, but a great start. And the advantage is you're playing it into the Divas, a character that characteristically is just going to get farmed out by the Mei, but you're also a really close range comp against Verity, who's on this Sojourn, and an explosive duo of Para and Sonic Chronic, who's been blowing you up. You really need to be playing your space to make sure they can't just like jump on you.
Yeah, 43 meters and counting now for the Skrungle Strays as they're getting really close to this checkpoint. Engage here for the Cats and Hats, but Sky with that Deadeye on the high ground will get eaten by the defense matrix of Sonic Chronic. But hiding in the corner is the rest of the Cats and Hats as they kind of confine themselves to this inside space. Loaf goes down first, and the cap is going to come through mid-fight for the Skrungle Strays. Trades on both sides. but with only Lucio heals, how much can the Cats and Hats survive? Turns out it is a lot as they pick up another kill onto Slade. Sonic Ronic moving over to the point. He's going to be able to stabilize for now.
Yeah, you can see Greg, like, Lucio being the first one to their ultimate. Not a very common occurrence for a team, but with Greg on these heals, just doing wonders. And now, the Cats and the Hats are going to be pushing, but Skrungle Stray have set up on this high ground a little bit more dominant position, and Nathan just picks out Verity early in the fight with a couple ults to sort of clap out. Okay, Nathan just picks a second. Okay.
Trades here for both sides. Actually, not for both sides, just 2 picks here, excuse me, for the Cats and Hats. Or for the Skrungle Strays. Wow, I cannot talk at all. As they're going to keep this bot pushing, will pick up those forward spawns and look to push their lead even further. The slow there from Spicy means the Cats and Hats going to have to back up and reposition again. A lot of ults here for both teams. 5, in fact, for both sides. As we see a beat and overclock engage counted out by this Kitsune Rush. Sky, though, playing really far away from that Kitsune Rush, is going to go down first. Slade picks up 2 in the meantime, but with a trade on the tank of Spicy here, advantage now for the Cats and Hats as they look to push this block back towards the center and force the Skrungle Strays to retreat.
Yeah, that was a really nice 3-2-1 go call. Gregor Verity, I'm not exactly sure who made that call, but it was nice. I mean, you do, like, use an extra ultimate, but you win the fight, and when you're at that like 70 to 80%, it is so easy for the enemy team to like keep that momentum push going. It's very important to deny that, but speaking of denying things, you have to deny this orbital ray coming in. Para's gonna pop the ultimate, swing down and catches Sky. That's gonna be a big first pick. Now Sonic Chronic jumping up to contest this high ground, but Razmataz is already there, and it's Spicy gonna add on the annihilation.
Yeah, Greg trying to look for something with Para on the bridge, but Razmataz with an icicle to the head of the Lucio is able to get that pick here for the Skrungle Strays. Sonic Ronic forced to use that Diva Bomb in order to get that remake in the backline, and the stabilization now are able to pick up the kill on the Spicy, though. Even without their Lucio, the Cats and Hats looking to win this fight. Sky caught out in the open, using the Zedeye and with the Maywall, trying to live here, looking to walk forward here. Not, I think, gonna be able to catch anyone as a good disengage from the Cats, able to live through that Deadeye, and still with the man advantage as their Lucio is back faster than the Ramatra.
With that Deadeye, you're going to buy the time to deny this checkpoint, and if Spicy can come in here, make some space, and give Razmataz a very good Blizzard on the point, that can be game-changing, especially into the ultimate, but they're going to give up the checkpoint. I mean, maybe they weren't set up in time, but I'm not really sure about that call, especially when it's just so vital. You're right there at the doorsteps. Now you are going to have both Kirka rushes on line for either side. The May ult's going to go first.
Yeah, Blizzard actually catches Verity there, not able to slide out of it. So even though the cap came through, a first pick here, but Sonic Ronic re-engaging onto Sky is going to be the kill. Both Kitsune rushes now on towards the checkpoint, but Razmataz gets picked in the meantime, so a man advantage now for the Cats and Hats as they keep going forward. Spicy low on this card. It's actually Slade that goes down in the backline. Spicy now backing up, trying to save his life, I think. No, is just going to die out instead. So the push continues now for the Cats and Hats as they are threatening this lead.
Yeah, I think the lead will definitely change at this moment in time. You can see Para and Sonic pushing aggressively for it, forcing that wall out from Raz, and Spicy just still in those spawn doors. They're definitely going to have to forego the lead here, and they need some key ultimates to turn this fight around. The only issue is they don't have any. It's just going to be ultimates for the Cats and the Hats. So Spicy and company have a lot to sort of walk back into in this fight, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see the aggressive ult combo again coming out from the Cats.
Early overclock here from Verity on the high ground, fishing for picks. But I think it's just going to be a nice disengage. Razmataz trying to use the wall, but actually ends up on the wrong side of it. Sky with a huge Deadeye. 3K for the Cassidy. Turns the fight quickly in favor of the Skrungle Strays. Wow.
And Greg Ajax that too, by the way. Thank you, chat. Oh my gosh. Uncharacteristic miss by Greg there in the final moments, and a very characteristic Sky ultimate that just changes the fight.
Absolutely what the doctor ordered for the Skrungle Strays. close. Spawns still enabled for now, but the Cats and Hats are not going to contest it. Para using the Vendetta ultimate in the sky does hit on the Spicy, but not enough to get the kill. It's actually the counter kill on the Para, who went a little bit too far with that. Slade using the orbital ray just to secure it. So maybe the Vendetta went a little bit too far with that one.
Yeah, swinging a little bit too aggressively. Sky, I think, gets 3 or 4 in that fight, and just cleaning up here now, threatening the lead right back in the face of the Cats and the Hats. You do have the bomb here for Sonic Chronic, but I wouldn't be surprised if that they just try to build up for the Kitsune Rush here and use the bomb as just a second life, second chance in the game. But an explosion of damage towards this high ground, but Razmataz is just eating it up so well, and the bomb is going to be forced out. Nathan does get caught on that angle by Verity though, but an early pick exchange on either side. Sky with another high noon already online. But it doesn't matter as 3 people clean up. Sky's building these. Was it not just like last fight when Sky popped the last high noon?
Yeah, with the 3K, you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Turns out that he could build it really fast on this character. So much damage coming through from that Cassidy, but was not able to turn that one with the help of the Deadeye. So the push will end there. Cats and Hats with the lead and the bot control now. As under 2 minutes to go here in the Cat Super Bowl. Still could go to anyone. But a massive ult advantage for the Strays now as they look towards the fight on this high ground. Razmataz looking with a flank on the Blizzard, but just gets caught by behind. Sky surely falling as well. I don't know if that was the play in the end.
And they didn't get really any bot progress for that, so they're gonna have to give up a lot of space. Good news is they didn't use any ultimates. Bad news is the entire team got opportunity, the entire enemy team got opportunity to farm theirs right back up. We could be seeing a key ultimate fight that's gonna change the course of this series coming up next as Sky and Raz group up with the team. Big pulsar torpedoes and a Kitsune Rush sent forward, but it looks like the Cats and the Hats are gonna chase. Run away, chase their tail out of this space with only one ult used. Still a big advantage for the Cats, or for the Stray.
Yeah, Cats and Hats more than happy with that disengage. Now going in forward with their own overclock. Will catch Sky out in the corner, and Spicy on cart, going with his Annihilation, trying to catch up to that bot, but I don't think he's going to be able to do so. Will fall down along with Slade. It's only Razmataz and Nathan, but they're caught on the wrong side of the map.
That was such a nice flip by the Cats and the Hats. They prioritize the point, and that is what's going to win you an Overwatch game. They really only had to use one ult for it.
Sky's
and
down!
Sky caught again by Greg. A massive pick. And it's Spicy back on the Diva, but so much damage has been done. Razmataz from behind, though. It's a massive
Big
freeze.
Big freeze for
The bomb's not
Razmataz
gonna
on
catch
the
anything.
point. Will catch out to Sonic Chronic with that bomb to re-mech and keep the Cats potentially in this fight here. But a pick and the Kiriko, the massive one here. Sky using this Deadeye, seen him be so deadly before, and will hit onto Para. Spicy with that follow through. Sonic Chronic losing his mech and no bomb this time to get the mech back. Slade gonna use his orbital ray to truly secure this fight here for the Skrungle Strays, but into overtime now, and swaps here from both teams. Spicy onto the Evo, Raz onto the Sombra.
Yeah, and Para and Loaf with ultimates online. These can be game-changing ultimates. Last time Para tried to pop theirs, it was immediately kited out. And it's around the same spots. We'll see if they can get more value with this one. Potentially be the game-sealing ultimate right now. As Razmataz, I think, kind of senses the team right above them. As a weird rotation is going around the center point.
Sky's caught alone! Sky's completely alone in the back line! And the Cats and Hats recognize it! They take out Cassidy. Huge pick for them. Sky was walking back from spawn, and the rest of the Strays, they just had to stay on the bot. Para using her ultimate, not going to be able to find anything, but still 5v4 now. Now with the Kitsune Rush from Loaf coming down, hack onto Sonic Chronic is not going to be able to save Nathan's life. Slade goes down as well. No supports for the Skrungle Strays. They got so close. So close, but in the end, the Cats and Hats, they win Map 5. They win the Cats Super Bowl.
Wow, that series, Nave. That series, so back and forth, and it is being decided like every single map. It felt like was decided in these final moments with key ultimates. all these players proving that, hey, even though maybe the season was a little bit bleak on both sides, there's still light at the end of the tunnel. There's still, like, I mean, hope, and there's still good series. I mean, both these teams came back from what was nothing. I mean, Cats in the Hats, I think, they had the fraud allegations all season, won their first map just a week ago, and they do end up closing it out in a map 5 when I think mood was definitely down after that first map. I know some people are messaging me that mood was down. And the Skrungle Stray is also proving that they could, come up and win maps. I mean, people were talking about them winning maps in scrims, and they were never able to do it on the official stage. I got to give a huge shout out to them and putting on this amazing performance. Both teams playing out of their mind.
But in the end, after 5 long maps, 5 really close maps, the Cats and Hats, they do take the series. They win the Cat Bowl. And congratulations to them. As you said, mental probably down a little bit after map 1, but they're able to rebound, keep their mental in it, and ultimately come away with the victory in the end. But now, War, it's going to be a hard task. We got to pick MVP.
Well, it's a little bit easier because they have 2 ringers. We're down to 4 options. In my humble opinion, no offense to the ringers. I have one in mind, but I'd love to hear what you're thinking too.
I think a lot of members on the Cats played well today. I really do think that. Each of them had their own moments to shine. Obviously, the Ringers probably not going to give it to them, though they both played well and had their moments. But I really do think that out of everyone on the Cats, I think Par deserves it the most, in my opinion.
I mean, I like Para. Oh my God, so many gifted subs. Holy Flambo Jambo, thank you so much. I also got to shout out that Toon Creator made a lot of money. Para would be great. I was thinking about Greg, in my opinion. Para had some really big ultimates, but Greg also closing down the fights when it mattered most. I'm cool with either though, because Para did really putting in the work on the Vendetta. When we were talking about it, like they should have banned the Vendetta and they didn't, and
hmm
that's what I think what lost them the map there. So I'm really cool with either option here.
Um, yeah, I don't know. Is there anyone else that's potentially want to give their opinion? Booney, Cat,
Specifically in the chat with us right now, or in the chat of the Twitch.
maybe Twitch
I
chat?
like I like both options.
Two
I am
MVPs,
waiting.
co-MVP.
I think Greg did Ajax and Para. The Strays didn't ban Para's hero. But yeah, I'm good with either. I thought everyone played really well on both teams actually.
Booney. All right. So Greg it is,
Oh,
I think, for
enough.
MVP. Even with the Ajax on map 5, I think still had an incredible performance. As we get our MVP here for interview, Greg, congratulations on winning the Cat Super Bowl.
Let's
Congratulations on getting MVP.
go. The Cat Super Bowl has been won. I won't lie. I think that was some of the best Overwatch we played all season. The freaking I was told this Strays team ain't got that dog in them, but for a bunch of cats, they really do.
That is truth. That is truth. Now, talk to me a little bit about like where the I know you were messaging me a little bit after map 1. Oh, thanks for you're the winner. Oh my God, you are the winner, Greg. But talk to me a little bit how that mental recovery happened
Dude,
after
yeah,
map
map
1.
one, we just forgot what an ult rotation is, and I was like low key really sad about it. But like map two, we were just like, we just fucking talked about it. Sonic Ronic being the fucking goat was we talked it over, and map two we rolled out. We were just like playing it a lot better. So I think we stepped up a ton after that in the series. We got some momentum didn't really swing our way on the escort, which like sometimes that just happens. But I think we were playing really, really good Overwatch for the most part in that series. Past once we got that whole rotation figured out.
Yeah, like you said, mental is maybe a little bit down after map 1. So I guess I just want to ask, what were your thoughts going into that map 5, seeing that Reinhardt ban? I guess, what were your thoughts about that?
I mean the Reinhardt ban, like we all were just like, oh, this is a protect ban, which was actually really smart from them because we had all agreed we were gonna ban Zarya. So really good ban from them to like stop us from doing what we wanted. But yeah, we just banned the Ashe because Sky is really scary. We're all really scared of him. And that guy's just got aura, you know. But past that, the mental, I was so fucking scared, dude. I was like, I can't be losing the Cat Super Bowl, man. Like, I just can't. I can't do it. So I was like, I was pretty nervous, but I mean, we locked the fuck in. I think we played really, really fucking good. You know, so it was great.
And talk to me a little bit about, I think specifically on like Circuit Royale, and I think one other map, you're just like, you say you're scared of Sky, but you're like running him down a lot and getting the first pick on Sky like very, very often if you watch it back, other than the time you
Yeah.
Ajaxed. So talk to me a little bit about like how you're really finding those opening picks on a support role.
So what we're doing is I'm trying to just like lead by example, you know. I want my team to fucking eat their brains out. Like I'm personally of the opinion that if you respect your opponent, you want to lose. So like I don't care that Sky's really good at the game. I respect Sky as a player and all that, but like when I'm in a lobby with you, I don't care how good you are. I like the second I see you anywhere where I think you can die, I want to punch you in the mouth. So like Sky kept going for like hero plays, which is like, to be fair, like Sky's super high SR player in a draft league that's mixed SR, like going for hero plays makes sense. But I'm just like doing everything I can to scout that out. And as soon as like we scout that out, or you know, Paro was also doing a really good job scouting that. And as soon as like we spot that, we're just like, kill this guy.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought there were a few moments, especially on map 5 there, where Sky going for some sort of a flank, and every single time you and the rest of the Cats and Hats were able to punish him, get that first pick, which helped you win a lot of those fights and eventually win the map. I just got one more question to ask you, Greg. Of course, El Clasico. If you could give the MVP to anyone else on your team, who would it be and why?
You know, shout out our good I want to shout out our ringers. You know, they stepped up. There was 2 of them, so I'm copping out right now because I'm lame as heck. But I just want to shout out our ringers. They did a really good job stepping in. It's unfortunate we couldn't have full rosters for the Cat Super Bowl, but unfortunately Dr. Yargo has the flu right now, so like just not a lot we could do about it. Hopefully he gets better soon. But yeah, our ringers played great, and they had like such good attitudes the whole time. Their mentals were like super strong. Sonic was really helpful for like helping me like mental reset after map 1 where you know we didn't play as good. So they were super valuable.
All right.
Can we get some cat picks tonight?
Oh hell yeah, I got you, goat.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we need the cat picks, the celebratory cats picks. Once again, congratulations, Greg, on your win, the Cat Super Bowl. It is yours. So congratulations, and you have a good rest of your night with the rest of your team as well.
Thank you. This is the biggest win of my Overwatch career.
All right, but that's gonna be it for everyone here. It's been a really exciting game. I had a lot of fun. I think everyone else had a lot of fun. A lot of people watching in chat. Giga banger, but in the end, the Cats and Hats, they do win it out. They win the Cat Super Bowl, and as this was the last game of the regular season, going forward, we have playoff matches on the horizon. Super excited for those. Yeah, but that's gonna be it here for everyone in the Aurora production. I've been Nave for War, Cat, and for Booney. Thank you. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye-bye.